I'm feeling like we're going to get him.
You're doing it.
And I'm ready to be hurt. I'm ready to be wrong. I'm ready to look like an idiot. I'm ready for everybody to tell me I'm the dumbest person they've ever listened to talk about it. I was going through the laundry list. I listened to a lot of stuff yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the argument is for us not to be – like, I know the Knicks need to be ultra-aggressive. I understand the Warriors with Steph Curry want to be the most aggressive.
Totally get it.
The Heat, really, since Jimmy Butler had those couple runs, irrelevant.
Totally irrelevant.
There are obviously teams there, right? But, like, why would we not be as equally aggressive as all of those other teams?
Because our guys are untouchable, Brandon.
But they're not. Now, Shaedon Sharpe, it's interesting. He cannot be traded until July 1st.
No, he cannot.
And he's got a poison pill in his contract, which makes it financially, it makes teams not want to absorb the contract.
Yeah, he wouldn't be a part of the deal. If you make a deal, he's not going to be a part of it.
Okay, but like they're going to want a young player out of that. So that's Scoot and Tamani with a Jeremy Grant.
Sure, yeah. It was a very interesting day yesterday because I'm not going to do to myself what you're doing to yourself, but I got a toe in the water. If that makes sense.
Okay.
I know.
What am I doing to myself? I am believing that they are going to finally say, you know what? We got a new owner coming in. I might get canned.
Sure.
Let me do something to make the guy excited to keep me along.
That would be my thought process,
versus
but also
being a 9-10 seed and losing in the playoffs.
The difficulty of it all is that I agree with that logic and that way of thinking. They also need, I would assume, the new guy to sign off on this because you're talking about bringing a player in who, by the way, in the next offseason is going to need a $200 million contract extension, and who's going to be signing those checks? If you sign up to an extension, the new guy is, and so they're going to need some approval. I don't know why Dundon would say no to it, but that's the only thing I would say. I think from a GM standpoint, if I were Cronin, that would be my exact thought right now. We've made some headway this year. We're better than we've been in the last handful of years. But that's also, I'm not going to give you an award for not being in last place. Like, you're still the 9 or the 10 seed in the Western Conference playoff picture. And the reason you're going to hang on in that picture is because the bottom of the West and the last 4 or 5 teams down there are truly horrific. And so
you've been one of the worst 10 teams
They've
in the
been
league
playoffs
for 4 straight years.
Half of a decade, it's been horrible. You've been tanking, and we can argue about where the picks have gotten them and what kind of players they would turn into. It was a fun day to dare to dream. It was a fun, exciting day to think about the trade machine and kick up the ideas and who would we put in. And it was also a reminder for me on our poll question, because you put one up on our show page yesterday. Would you do this deal?
I just threw out a random.
Spend 2 minutes reading through the responses.
I didn't read them yet, actually. I'm assuming the Klingon outrage was
This
in there.
is the dumbest trade I've ever seen.
Of course.
What this many first round picks? Like, we can't give up the Milwaukee future picks. Those are going to be worth gold.
To get Giannis, you don't think you'd have to give up the Milwaukee picks to Milwaukee?
Here's my point.
That was the logic?
To those Blazer fans, who I don't even think they listen to the show, they probably just, follow on social media and react to a tweet, and they see people retweet it, and it generates traction. If now is not the time, fine. I'll acknowledge, okay, you don't think now is the time to make a move. You don't think now is the time to play with your future assets.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that will tell you that. Well, it's not the time to make a move. Now's not your time to make a move. My immediate response is then when? Next offseason? Next trade deadline? Because the part of it that I will continue to bring up, those Milwaukee picks right now, especially with Giannis demanding a trade, seem to be incredible assets. The swaps could be phenomenal.
Sure.
We also don't know what Milwaukee's going to get in return in the deal. We don't know what young players they're going to bring in. We don't know where they're going to go the rest of the season in the next 2 years. They might end up with the number 1 overall pick. The Dallas Mavericks traded Luka Doncic last year, and we pointed at them and we laughed and we said, how is that possible that you could be that stupid to trade that player? And they got Cooper Flagg out of it.
It's the luckiest thing of all.
It absolutely is. But Milwaukee, if they trade Giannis, where do we assume the rest of their season's going to go? They're already bad. He's the only thing they have on that roster.
Out for a long time. They're going to be.
They're terrible. They're going to be a top 5 picking team. And guess who doesn't have a pick swap this year? So my whole point is, like, we look at these as if they're the great assets. So are you telling me you want to wait until 2029 to pick swap and then just take a player? So I got to wait 3 more years to get a lottery pick in here? Is that lottery pick Scoot Henderson? Or is it Victor Wembanyama? So I understand those are desirable assets. My response, if not now, then when is the time to finally be aggressive and do something?
I get your draft logic there. I'm not surprised. I mean, I put the trade together in 2 seconds after the show if we were having conversation, and I just threw something out, and I assumed throwing Klingon in that was going to piss people off.
It's non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
Can't move him.
I know. His 12 points per game. We can't lose
And
that.
the idea of trading 5 first-round picks for some is just blasphemous, even though Desmond Bane got traded for 5 first-round picks last year.
Well, yeah. Well, so I had this talk with Danny because Danny doesn't think you're going to have to give up that many draft picks, to which I could say, okay, well, if that happens, then cool.
Great.
Brian Windhorst told me yesterday on a podcast he thinks there's going to be a ton of draft picks involved in this.
Yes, because that's the pathway for Milwaukee. It's not a free agent destination.
Either Danny Meringue knows it or Brian Windhorst knows it. We'll have to kind of wait and see on that. But, yeah, to your point, like Desmond Bane literally just went for 5 firsts.
Mikal Bridges went for 5 first-round picks. Mikal Bridges is a good player.
The only reason I put 5 on there was I just put the 3 they gave us, the swaps and the 1 first, and then I just added 2 more because let's also not act like Giannis doesn't have Portland probably on his top list, right?
No.
Would we agree on that?
I would agree on that.
Okay, so
but that's the one thing that people are getting excited
Portland
about.
doesn't get free agents, do they? Not, do they
no,
get? Okay.
We do not get free agents.
So my only reason I put 5 in a hypothetical stupid trade.
How dare you?
Which I just love that everybody knows what the perfect trade is, but nobody ever agrees on any hypothetical trade. Have you ever noticed that?
We're the epitome of a fan base who refuses to pull the trigger on any hypothetical trade.
Well, it's also every fan base does this. They make these trades, and then they make fun of each other and talk about how stupid the trades are, but nobody ever has a universal agreement on a trade.
Yeah.
My whole reason was you're paying a premium tax to get Giannis to come to Portland, so you're enticing the team, 5. Give them young talent. I understand that there's implications, and somebody noted the Shaden Sharp poison pill thing that I didn't know about, admittedly, so that's my mistake. But you got to give them some young talent. I don't know who that is. I know Tamani's also going to be almost impossible to trade. So even if you're not in it, in this hypothetical world that doesn't exist, the pick thing is funny to me, as if you're not going to have to pay a premium being Portland, taking on a player who has no desire to be there.
Yeah.
Other than I like Drew Holiday and Dame's my friend, and I'm kind of closer to Nike.
Yeah, right.
And you're going to give me $270 million. I just
sure, I'll sign on to that contract.
I don't know what he's going to go for. Nobody does.
Nobody
That's what's so funny about it, is how definite people are about what's it going to take to get him. Nobody talking on a microphone even knows. The most intel plugged-in dudes are all saying kind of different stuff.
Yeah.
But Brian Windhorst last night brought up Portland, and he mentioned that, like, in this trade, there's going to be a lot of draft capital exchanged.
Likely so.
That's why I put 5 in there. I just also kind of assumed that.
I just... revisiting the Desmond Bane trade. So he went from Memphis to Orlando, and we debated that on the show in the aftermath because I did have the reaction.
That's a lot of picks.
That's a lot of picks.
Yeah.
Desmond Bane, I know Desmond Bane's a good player. That's a lot of picks for Desmond Bane. It was KCP, Cole Anthony, 4 first-round picks, 25, 26, 28, and 30.
And a swap.
And a 2029 first-round pick swap.
Yeah.
That was the trade that went down for Desmond Bane.
Right.
So, 2 whatever players, one of them a journeyman who's not bad defensively, the other one a young guy who's fine, and then basically that was to make salaries match, and here's your draft haul.
Sure.
Memphis, you're starting over again. And if I'm Milwaukee, like, you'd love to get a great young player out of it. This is the funny part about these deals, though. Like, what young player on Miami is enticing you? What young people, like, that to me just doesn't exist. And
So
maybe
I have a list here I can get to. I hear you, but also I continue to think back to our side of this, right? Just us. Miami, I know, is going to try. Golden State, by all reports, has already made phone calls.
They're trying to do something with Steph to salvage it.
The funniest thing is the Nets. If you take, because earlier, if you're just tuning in, good morning, happy Thursday. I don't think San Antonio, Oklahoma City, or Detroit are going to do it. I don't think they're going to make a phone call. I don't think they're going to take the phone call and say, yeah, thanks, no thanks. I think they're going to build it how they are building what they're building. I think other teams are going to be doing this. I don't know if Portland's the team that's just like, hey, can we get some stuff out of this? Or they're going to say, we're taking a swing here, dude. We got a new owner. He's going to try to get money because he wants his arena upgraded. He made moves when he became the owner at Carolina, pretty massive moves. So he's clearly a guy that wants to come in. We have new owner syndrome. The track record of that is a laundry list long. You've got Mark Cuban signing Ray Ferentz, to A-Rod and his partner making the Timberwolves trades. Like, what's the Ishbia?
Yeah, in Phoenix.
Almost every single new owner in the NBA gets in there, and they want to do something big because they want to say, I'm here, I'm different.
We're doing something.
And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Sure.
So I don't know how aggressive they're going to be willing to be. And I understand all of the downside of the Giannis argument. I do. I've heard it all. Get it. You're also 2 games under 500, and you're like in the play-in, but you've largely not been that team, and you've been one of the 10 worst teams in the association for 4 straight years.
Yeah.
By a record and finishing standpoint, you've been one of the 10 worst franchises in the sport.
Yeah.
The bottom third.
It's a non-negotiable.
So, and you can think this is going the right direction and they're going to be a contender, but like being the 7th seed every year, I want to win. I don't want to tank out. But saying at best we're a 6-7 seed and like that's just good enough, I'm not in on that either. I want to win, but I want to win and build. I don't want to just settle to be bottom tier winning.
Right, just to get back, sneak in the playoffs, and get bounced in the first round every year. We've lived in that existence before.
I understand that they're probably not going to do it. It's not really in their nature, and I don't even know if this trade's going to happen at the deadline.
Sure.
There's a lot of people think it's going to because of the way it's popping up right now, but who knows? I just wish that they would throw the hat in the ring. The chip's all in. We're going to try so hard it's going to hurt. Like, give me all that. Like, can we deliver on that 3 year ago promise? Like, I promise. If it doesn't work and you become the new Milwaukee, it's going to be hard for me to really go hard on you when I'm saying all of this stuff right now. Because I'll just be like, well, you tried.
I won't kill you for it. At least taking a swing instead of standing at the plate and watching pitches go down the middle. The reality of it is that, you know, sometimes we get far too high on our own supply in this city, and there's a lot of a lot in this fan base that overvalue their own prospects. But is a reality right now is that Portland's package, and we joked about it yesterday, and there will be a new open today talking about packages. Like, our package is really good. It's an enticing one for Milwaukee, especially considering what their future might look like. I'm reaching the point now where it feels like Portland has made headway. They've taken one mini step in the right direction to be, hey, look at that. It's the end of January and we're near 500. And they'll probably hover around 500 and they'll get back over the number and then they'll slip back low and they'll get back over the number. So we're better this year than we've been in the last handful of years. I'm just of the thought process to your points that you brought up earlier on OKC and on San Antonio. They don't need to make a move like this, and there's no incentive for them to make a massive move like this because of where they were and what they were succeeding as a team. Like, Oklahoma City was the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They didn't win a title that first year that they popped, but you could clearly see the direction that they were going. Can we all acknowledge there's a drastic difference between what OKC was 2 years ago and where Portland is right now? Right, and the slight difference. And let's see how this thing plays out. Same goes for San Antonio. They have Victor Wembanyama, and they're 17 games above 500. There's no reason for them to roll the dice on something like this when they're clearly building in the right direction. And so while we have taken a step in the right direction, this idea that we're close to competing or contention, we're still miles away from that. And so I continue to ask Blazer fans who say, no, we can't do it. It's too much. I don't want to give it up. He's 31. I chuckle at all of that, and I ask you, then when? Then when? Because if you're going to ask me as a fan to be excited about Milwaukee first-round picks pick swaps, by the way, that I'm waiting to convey and just draft a player, I'm out, man. Like that, those picks don't start happening until 2028, 2029, and 2030. That's a long ways off still. And then even if you draft and hit on the guy, which do we trust this organization to do that? Do we have a high bar, high level of trust for these guys to not get it wrong and to draft the right player? Took Scoot over Amen Thompson. How'd that work out for you? But I digress. You draft those guys, let's say you hit, then you're another 2 years away from those guys developing and building. And so you're asking me to essentially kick the can down the road for 6 more years until relevant basketball is being played. You have an opportunity here. My worst fear in all of this is that I'm starting to buy into some of the belief that, you know what, maybe there is a chance, and then Portland ends up being the team that uses a first-round pick swap to help facilitate the trade to get Giannis to Miami or Golden State.
I think both worlds can exist. I think you can hold optimism and hope that it happens, and I think you can also see it not happen and go, yeah, okay. I'm not going to be like irate. I won't be surprised if they're not involved.
Depends on what the package that ends up getting him is. That'll be my response to it. Like, if there's a package out there that you're like, oh my God, they did that. All right, well, okay, I grant you. But if it's like 2 random Heat rotational players and a first-round pick,
that's not
which
what
it won't happen. I know it won't, but I'm just saying if that ends up being the deal, I'm going to be livid.
I'll read a couple of the tweets. I just saw some of the tweets. Somebody said it's one of the worst trades I've ever seen. Boy.
Yeah.
There's been actual trades that are worse than the one I threw.
We've made some pretty bad trades our own selves.
Yeah,
as an organization, there's been some pretty bad ones over the years, folks.
Bad ones out there. Would you go in, or are you good standing pat and just patiently build this thing in Portland, or do you just want little things from the trade to be involved in the trade?